YouTube, how's it going? The GOAT House is back. In today's video, we're going through every single NFL team, and I'm going to predict each team's Rookie of the Year for the 2020 NFL season. Got some obvious ones, but I got some bold ones here too. In the very near future, we'll talk about who I think will win the actual Rookie of the Year for offense and defense. So a lot of videos still on the way. The schedules are coming out this Thursday. Going to review those, and then we'll get on with our 2020 season predictions, including record predictions team by team. So it's a great time of the year to follow the GOAT House. And then our podcast is back. We're on Spotify and Apple, and we're going to be doing an episode every single weekend. So go ahead and check that out. A lot going on here. Please subscribe to both of our channels. 50K is that goal. You'll find a link down below for that newer channel, the GOAT House Plus, as well as our Twitter and more. That Twitter's a must follow. Always talking football. And we're going to have some polls on there in the near future that will keep you guys involved in videos. We'll use the results in videos. So you're going to want to follow that Twitter for sure. But let's move on to the Rookie of the Year for each team. We'll start with the Cardinals. Isaiah Simmons. I think it's a pretty obvious one. Not too much else. They drafted very well, but not too much else competing with Isaiah Simmons for this title. You know, yeah, a guy like Josh Jones was their next best pick and their next pick, actually, but third round offensive lineman. So Isaiah Simmons, this should be a pretty obvious one. And the fact that to sum everything up, we know what he does with his game. You know, to sum everything up, he's going to impact the game in every possible way a defender can. So this is a prime candidate here. And you talk about the easiest way for a defensive player to get an award, any award, whether it's Rookie of the Year, anything. You probably need quarterback pressure. You need to get sacks. That's what is, I guess, appealing. But Isaiah Simmons does that. You know, he does that among other things, and we even heard some teams kind of talk about that they may like him as a pass rusher. We've heard that, more of a pass rusher than an off-the-ball linebacker. So we'll see what the Cardinals are going to do with him. It really doesn't matter what they do with him. He'll be a big-time impact. Moving on to the Falcons, went with their second pick. Went with Marlon Davidson here. A.J. Terrell could be a big playmaker for them as well. But one with Davidson, kind of going back. Talk about the pressure. Whoever gets the quarterback pressure, they're kind of already out in front if we're talking defensive players here for the Falcons. You know, their first two pick being defensive players. And then, Davidson will get that quarterback pressure. We see him play end. He can play interior. You know, curious to see what the Falcons actually do with that scheme. They bring in a guy like Dante Fowler, who, either way is an edge rusher. But, if they move to a 3-4, I think that suits him a little better. That's just kind of what's been proven for him. And then you look at Marlon Davidson, a 3-4 end just sounds fantastic to me. I think that's where you'll get the most out of his game, in terms of production. So we'll see what they do, but that could mean more production from a guy like Marlon Davidson. And then we move on to the Ravens. Went a little bold here. Went with Devin Duvernay. They had quite a few really good picks, really good draft for the Ravens. Their top pick, Patrick Queen, very well could be their best rookie this year. Especially in Martindale's scheme, likes blitzing the inside linebackers quite a bit, and Queen definitely can do that. Could be a guy that to get him on the consistent track may take a year or two or just throughout the year to kind of get him set there. Remember he came in LSU as a running back, transitioning to linebacker, pretty impressive, kind of getting thrown in there and being able to play that high of a level, especially in the national championship. But could take a little more time. Devin Duvernay, on the other hand, this is a instant impact guy. This is a sure thing right off the bat, an easy fit in any system, an easy plug-and-play impact guy. That's what Devin Duvernay is. There was better receivers in the best receiver class in history because, those guys maybe have more length. They can do a little more. Yeah, there's more to their game and more upside. But Duvernay is just an easy plug-and-play impact guy with that speed, that ability to play in the slot, that, can throw him a screen pass that does something with it. You can hand him an end around. You can throw him a deep ball. We even seen him against LSU do those things. And it's going to be pretty easy with DeMar Jackson, with this Ravens offense. Hollywood Brown with the speed outside of him. For defenses to kind of focus, it's just get him the ball, and he will be an instant impact. I keep saying it, but that's what Devin Duvernay is. So that's why I went with him. The Bills went with A.J. EPENESA. You could go Zach Moss here. They're going to split pretty well there, Singletary, Zach Moss. That's kind of the thing with Moss, though. You kind of need to limit his carries because there are some durability concerns. You've seen him get beat up over the last couple of years, sit out 2 years ago, a good chunk of the season. But it's a tough dude. I remember watching a game this past year where he got cracked in the head pretty good, and I thought he was concussed for sure. I thought he was going to be done. He goes to the sideline for one play, comes back in, scores a touchdown. So that's Zach Moss for you. A lot to his game. He'll be an impact. Wouldn't surprise me if He's better than Singletary. Wouldn't surprise me if Singletary remained playing the way he did, and he's better, but they're going to split. I think with the Bills were kind of, they weren't really missing anything on their defense. It's a really good defense. Wouldn't surprise me if they're the best defense in football this year. Complete and a lot of young studs on that defense. But if they could get better in one area, I should say, probably pass rush. And they got quite a few guys that can play. But you could get better there. So EPENESA has a chance to be their best one. And yeah, maybe he's lacking athletically. Strong dude, technique is perfect, and he'll get after the quarterback, bottom line. So by the end of the year, EPENESA really could be their best pass rusher, and that means he could be the rookie of the year there. Panthers, easy one. We went Derrick Brown, another instant impact, top-tier prospect here. We know he's going to stop the run at a high level. He's going to collapse that pocket, get that. That'll create pressure, and that could result in sacks. It's not a guy that you need to see a bunch of sacks from. He's going to do his job, and we'll see that. You could go with Gross Matos because that's that pass rusher. The pass rushers are kind of favored a little more in this category, for these awards because they get sacks. Everyone loves, those sack numbers, and he can win. Gross Matos could win that because of that. But I just still think Derrick Brown just way more of an impact. Wouldn't be shocked if he actually had more sacks, which is that impressive, than their second-round pick there. So I went with Derrick Brown. The Bears went with Cole Kmet. The Bears had 2 second-round picks that have a shot at this award here. A guy like Jalen Johnson could as well as a great pick. For me, Cole Kmet, the Bears have been missing this type of tight end. A lot of teams really are. This is the total package tight end. He's going to get his scores. He's going to, there's a red zone target for sure. You can put him out wide just so you can throw him that goal line fade. You can keep him in line, sneak him out, make that contested catch in the middle, of the end zone there. But he's more than that too. You see the catches he makes throughout the whole field and the run after catch ability, mainly because how strong he is. And that's exactly what Nick Foles needs here. Kind of like the Zach Ertz type, one of the the inline tight ends that have more to their game. So he'll be a factor. It's what Matt Nagy's been missing. It's what they want for Nick Foles. It's what Nick Foles wants. So he'll be a factor here and will be the rookie of the year most likely. The Bengals, yeah, it's going to be Joe Burrow, my number 1 overall player, the number 1 overall pick, instant impact quarterback. There's some people that kind of doubt the Bengals. Will they ruin Joe Burrow? I just don't see it. I don't see how it could be possible. He'll be an instant impact. He instantly makes the Bengals that much better of a team. It's going to be fun to watch. He'll be the rookie of the year there. Going to the Browns, I went Grant Delpit. It's tough for a lineman to get these types of awards, but Jedrick Wills was my number 1 overall tackle in the draft. We'll see how he transitions from right to left because that's what he'll be doing. I think he'll be okay. We're going to have to wait and see, though, for sure. Grant Delpit, I think, will be a playmaker. That's what he's there for. We know he misses tackles. That's why he dropped. You wish his frame was a little stronger. So in that department, the physical department, the tackles department, you wish it was better. And that's why he dropped. But he's a playmaker in the back end. He's super rangy. And, he's familiar with guys like Greedy Williams and you got Denzel Ward. He's going to make plays back there. He's going to make plays. He's going to get his hands on the ball. That's what he's there to do. He's not going to be needed to do all that, what he did at LSU, because they need their playmakers step up the most in college and to do more. You need more out of it. So sometimes for players like this, the game's more simplified for them. He will make plays. He will get his hands on the ball. Rookie of the year for the Browns, Grant Delpit there. Cowboys went with CeeDee Lamb. Yeah, Trevon Diggs is a possibility. Stepping up for Byron Jones. Trevon Diggs is a playmaker. So he could be that playmaker that wins them, a lot of games and could be the rookie of the year. CeeDee Lamb's just a sure thing to me, I think it's just really easy just to get him the ball no matter where it is. It's real easy for him to make something out of anything, really. And I think having Amari Cooper will open things up. They'll open things up for each other. Guys like Gallup as well. And then having Dak, as long as he plays, which I believe he will, obviously. It'd be a big-time guy for them. Pretty easy choice for me, even though they got some other good picks. Broncos went with Jerry Jeudy. Another easy one. It'd be pretty wide. Their second pick was KJ Hamler. They went with 2 receivers in a row, and I like that. And it'd be pretty wild, but at the same time, you kind of can see it if Hamler did maybe a little more than Jeudy. I'm going to say Jeudy. That's why I have him up here. Does a little more, but it could be Hamler. It could be a number of these guys. The Broncos had a really good draft, but Jerry Jeudy, the ability to play, to me, Hamler's just more of the just strictly a slot receiver. Jerry Jeudy played about 50-50, and he, I almost prefer him outside. I want somebody to be man on Jerry Jeudy because that's a guy you just can't keep up with, just because, he has speed, but not really because of his speed. Everyone knows because his footwork, his route running ability, the head and hand fakes as well. So I think you can get the best out of him outside in man coverage. But either way, you can see both that from him. You got guys that complement him, guys like Courtland Sutton. So it's be a big time player for him. I'm really excited to watch this receiver unit, just this team in general, because they're building it right. So I went Jeudy there. The Lions went a little bold here because they took Okudah 3rd overall. So Okudah, that big time of a player, could be that guy. He'll get his hands on the ball. I went with DeAndre Swift here, and I was a little confused about this pick. Not too much, because we knew they wanted a running back because they can't trust Kerryon Johnson to be healthy, and they're pretty. After that, they've been pretty, I guess, weak on the running back end, and that's kind of hurt them. So we knew they wanted a running back. I didn't think they were going to spend this high of a pick. To me, who's better, Kerryon Johnson or DeAndre Swift? I think Kerryon Johnson's a little better. But, yeah, you can't really trust him to stay healthy. They're not going to spend this, and this is kind of what I thought of and what made me put him up here, because he's a really good running back. He's a playmaker. He's gonna, he catch the ball out of the backfield too. But this is what I was getting to here. The Lions didn't just spend a early second round pick on a running back for just in case Kerryon Johnson gets hurt. You don't do that. Nobody does that. So the plan, I believe, is this is their feature guy. This is their guy. Mainly we see the running backs catch the ball in the backfield, kind of separate from the rest in terms of awards like this, or just being better, I guess, in today's NFL. And that's what Swift will do. So that's why I went with Swift. It's pretty easy for the running backs to be that big of an impact. The Packers went with Josiah DeGuara, their 3rd pick, actually. Their first 2 picks were kind of future. Most of their draft was, really. But DeGuara, I talked about in the offseason before leading up to the draft. I think it's an instant impact guy. He's a fantastic route runner. I think he's the best route runner of the tight end class, really. He can play in line. You can put him in the slot. You can put him at fullback if you want. He'll catch the ball. He's pretty good after the catch. I'm sure you can handle the ball if you needed to. That won't be really factoring in here, but my point is, instant impact guy, easy fit for anybody. He'll make a pretty big impact. He'll get open too. You need a tight end like this that can get open that quickly. Rodgers needed a guy like that, get open pretty quickly, and then usually sure-handed too on top of that. So and willing to do a lot of the dirty work too, which we've kind of seen the lack of there. Mainly with Jimmy Graham. So DeGuara is going to be an impact for them for sure. The Texans, easy one. Ross Blacklock, by far their best pick, by far their best impact pick. Ross Blacklock, another one of those guys where I think it's the game's gonna be more simplified at the next level. Asked to do too much, a lot of stunts, from that defense, that strange TCU defense. I think just giving him the freedom to just rush the quarterback at times, which he was not able to do at TCU at times, and he still had the production. And we know he's going to stop the run too. So I think we're going to see quite a bit of production in terms of quarterback pressure from Ross Blacklock on this Texans defense line, playing with J.J. Watt, Charles Omenihu, and then the linebacker unit as well. So Blacklock would definitely be the one for the Texans. The Colts went with Michael Pittman. A lot of people just love Jonathan Taylor, and he can be an impact. Jonathan Taylor's going to have those moments where maybe he won't even touch the ball that many times per game, and then he'll have like a run where he just, it's crazy. He'll fly past everyone and score a home run play, or he'll break a couple tackles, fly past everyone, score that home run play. He'll have those plays throughout the year. I just don't think there's going to be a whole bunch of big chunk plays from him, especially because the room they already have, and you do kind of have to limit Taylor because of the fumbling. So it could be Taylor because of the home run ability that will occur. But Michael Pittman's a type of receiver they've been missing pretty badly, and that they really want to factor in. Phillip Rivers, a lot of his, turnovers did come from just kind of chucking the ball up. He's like, where's Mike Williams at? He's my big body guy. Just chuck it up, but he's also getting hit at the same time. Ends up being an off-target throw. So you got the better offensive line here with the Colts, and then Michael Pittman will be the Mike Williams type for them. And then right off the bat, their second best receiver. So that'll be Rivers' guy, I think. If T.Y. Hilton stays healthy the whole year, that'll be the main guy, obviously. But, so I think it's an easier chance for Pittman to be the Rookie of the Year there. And then we move on to the Jack. We want Clayvon CHAISSON. He's going to get the production. He's going to get after the quarterback. He's going to get a starting chance. Ngakwe's not going to play for them. CHAISSON, Josh Allen. The Jags are looking like, I talked about, I don't think there's any bad team at all. I think the league's sitting in a pretty good spot. If you're an NFL fan, if you're a football fan in general, this is fantastic. There's no team that is bad. There's no team that is in a terrible spot. The Jags are kind of known as one of the weaker teams, but they got some talent too. I mean, this pass rush duo, what Josh Allen and CHAISSON is going to be real fun. They're going to help each other out. CHAISSON's going to get after the quarterback. and be more productive than people think, in my opinion. So I went with him. Chiefs, easy one. Back-to-back LSU players here. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, my #1 running back in the class, and obviously the Chiefs because they took the first one off the board. Just an absolute perfect fit. He's going to run very well. He's going to catch the ball in the backfield very well. He's going to catch the ball downfield very well, whether it's coming from the running back position, whether it's coming from the slot position. Even seen him get split out wide, mid-play adjustment. At times there. So he'll make a factor in every category. It's an easy one here for the Chiefs. The Chargers went with Kenneth Murray. I really don't know if Herbert's going to start or not. I think if he does right away, he could struggle a little bit early on. Murray with this defense, look what's around him. I mean, from everywhere. I'm going to start listing off guys, but I mean everywhere pretty much. The secondary, the pass rush group, and the thing, I've always, everyone that's been watching me for a long time, I've always been a huge Melvin Ingram fan because I think he's a unique player and he makes everyone around him better. He's a creator for other players, and he'll be a creator for him among others on the team. Will be a creator for a guy like Kenneth Murray, who's the inside linebacker, who also is very darn impressive at getting after the quarterback. So they're going to be sneaking Murray and they already have Ingram getting after the quarterback from different alignments really, even though he's not just a pass rusher is kind of my point, an edge rusher I should say. And Murray's going to be doing the same thing, some similar things there. So it's going to be unique. It's going to be flashy. It's going to be impressive. So Kenneth Murray, my pick for the Chargers. The Rams is a tough one because you guys know I love Terrell Lewis. I think he's a plug-and-play 3-4 pass rusher, which he will be here. I think he'll be highly productive. So it's tempting to go Terrell Lewis. But kind of going back to what I said about the Lions here, almost a similar thing here. They didn't draft Cam Akers in the second round. They didn't draft him to split with Darrell Henderson to kind of be behind him. Let me back up, though, a little bit. I do like Darrell Henderson. I like his upside. He's got that home run ability. He's very fast, catches the ball in the backfield. But then you got to go forward. You didn't just draft a guy in the second round to think, all right, maybe he'll be better. Maybe we like him better than Henderson. Maybe he'll complement Henderson pretty good. I think a year after taking Henderson there, I think you only take him there if you really, really like this guy, if you got big plans for him. And I think Akers is more of the build to kind of take on that Gurley role, but he has kind of more, looking at today's game for running backs, to it. So I think the plan is to give him the load, and that's why I picked him here. But I like Terrell Lewis a lot. In general, I like this Rams draft class. It stings a little bit that the offensive line is still a big problem. They didn't really address that, and it was the reason for the dive, I guess, last year of the team, the play calling, and the quarterback. It's hard to kind of figure ways around just poor offensive line play. When it was pretty good a year before that, and they still didn't fix that, so it's tough. But I mean, you just look at this draft class though, and there's just so many good players and good playmakers, guys like Cam Akers. So it's gonna be very interesting to see what they do with Akers and Henderson. I just don't think they drafted a guy that early for them, to be kind of the backup role. We'll see though. We'll see. Moving on to the Raiders, pretty easy one. Henry Ruggs, kind of going to be what they wanted from Antonio Brown. What the plan was there was a big plan for the Raiders offense. With that speed, pretty easy just to get him the ball, whether it's screen pass downfield, let him go to work. You're hoping teams run a bit more man against a guy like this. We'll see. We'll see what the game plan is. But they built that receiver unit up. Edwards could be more of an impact than people think. One with Henry Ruggs, though, it's a pretty obvious one. The Dolphins went with Tua. You're just about staying healthy. I would say it's an obvious one, but he's got to stay healthy, and they got to be confident in week one. Maybe they don't feel comfortable enough. It's a possibility, but it's got to be Tua. It's going to make this team that much better. He's got the big playability in him, it feels like an obvious choice, but it just really could not be because of the injuries. So we will see. Vikings went with Justin Jefferson, 2 first-round picks, so Gladney could be a guy that has that much of an impact. But I think Justin Jefferson. I think it's another one of those guys where it's just an easy instant impact. You can play him in slot, you can play him outside, just get him the ball in any way. Even if it's schemed up plays, and then he'll make it work from there. And even downfield as well, the body control is ridiculous. So, and kind of, he'll get those reps too. He'll get those reps, taking the spot of Diggs. Perhaps we've seen Thielen get hurt last year, so it wouldn't shock me if Jefferson actually got more receptions, the most receptions for the team here. And I do see people saying Jefferson will kind of be maybe the best receiver year one, getting the most receiving yards year one. And I can see it because he's like that easy of a fit, kind of like we talked about Duvernay. It's just easy to get him the ball, but I don't know if the Vikings throw the ball enough for that. So we'll see what their plan is this year. But yeah, definitely, I think they're rookie of the year for sure there. The Patriots one with Josh Uche could be Anthony Jennings. Two similar style hybrid linebacker pass rushers that they'll use. Uche will kind of be the Van Noy. Anthony Jennings will be, more the Jamie Collins. So, I really thought about this. It was tough because I think in terms of just pass rusher off the edge, which neither will be. They're kind of that hybrid. At times they'll be for the Patriots. But in terms of just pass rusher off the edge, Jennings might be a little better right now. Uche's got more of the upside, but Uche has more to his game right now. So overall, looking at what they asked from that position, what Belichick asked, you got to go with Uche here. But interesting. And it could be Asiasi, the tight end that they have big plans for from UCLA there. The Saints went with ZACK BAUN. Even though maybe not one of their earlier picks, they're looking for pass rush from the linebacker position. That's what you get from ZACK BAUN. I think he's going to make other players better, around him. So that is a player that I think will make an impact for the Saints for sure right away. And it's not just, it's kind of like we just talked about Uche. It's not really just getting the pass rush, the pressure abilities. It's about dropping back in coverage and making plays in the run game as well. Kind of the high motor all over the field guy for Wisconsin that can continue for the Saints there. Moving on to the Giants, offensive lineman, it's tough for them to kind of be known in this category, but I want Andrew Thomas because I think it's going to be a pretty clear and obvious upgrade for their running game in general, and that will, running game will open up the pass game. So I think that'll be pretty, be that clear that he helped that much. And I also don't know if there's, that many, they had a pretty solid draft all around. Is there that many guys they got that are instant impact right away? McKinney can be. I'm just still curious what the plan is with him. Feels like they got a bunch of strong safeties, guys that impress in the box the most. So it very well could be McKinney, but I think Thomas, it'll be that obvious, glaring that he improved the run game, which improved other things, kind of right away. For Saquon Barkley and then eventually Daniel Jones there. So that's why I went with that. The Jets, I've raved about the Ashton Davis pick. I think that'll be fantastic for him in terms of the fit, but for Jamal Adams, so that's an obvious one. But to me, Denzel Mims is their best receiver. You just got to get this guy the ball anyhow. The offensive line improved, but still not the best. So Darnold will still have those moments where he pretty much, because that's kind of in his nature. Sometimes he'll just throw the ball up, and that's what he's got Denzel Mims there for. So this is their best receiver. This is their best big-time player downfield or really anywhere. So I think it's just got to be Mims. This is a first-round talent they got in the second round. Eagles went with Jalen Reagor as a big play guy. I think another one. It's just going to be so easy for this guy to make that much of an impact because you get him an end around, you give him a screen pass. He's fantastic downfield. He's a really good route runner. And we didn't get to see, a lot of people just watch the highlights or just remember the big moments from the season because I know everyone here watches a lot of football. And you just don't remember a lot from Reagor, but that's because the quarterback play and some missed opportunities, from that team, and he won a lot more reps than people realize. So, with this much better, I mean, we're talking about going from that, TCU to going to Carson Wentz, behind that offensive line, behind, with that the coaching staff, with that talent. We're going to see a lot from Jalen Reagor right away, right off the bat, instantly. They got big plans for him. Steelers want Anthony McFarland, a little bold here. I'm a big Chase Claypool fan. He will be an impact. He can make the other receivers better, really, because the focus could be on Claypool, this big body guy that's kind of playing the slot or outside, and it could be contested catch time. So that's going to open things up for everyone else. So it could be a guy like Chase Claypool. But McFarland was a big-time pickup for them. This guy's better than people think. This guy's got the vision. He's got the home run ability. Got the speed. And can catch the ball. They desperately needed speed out of the backfield. Desperately needed it. And they need another back in general because James Conner, he's a very, very good running back, unfortunately just keeps getting hurt. And it's hard for me, hate to say it, but it's hard for me to trust him to stay on the field all year at this point, even though I expect it most of the year, hopefully. So McFarland will get his chances when Conner's in the game. And then, obviously, a lot more when he's out. You talk about they got Benny Snell last year. Everybody likes Benny Snell. I like Benny Snell, too. That's kind of, there's two different type of running backs that every team, really wants. Benny Snell is really James Conner's backup, and McFarland's kind of his own, guy. Even though he's not going to start play one, I think you see my point. He's kind of the starter of that style of back. So he'll get the action there. He will get the action. He will have those big chunk play, those big home run plays, I should say. So I went with Anthony McFarland, a little bold, I guess. Seattle didn't go with their first pick, went with their second. Darrell Taylor is going to be he's going to be pretty big for them. This guy, every time I turn on the tape, him over the offseason, I liked him more and more. I see other people starting to rave about him more and more. Tennessee was kind of a mess, so I think he will be a lot better in a system like this. It's an NFL system here, scheme. He'll get after the quarterback. The combination of athleticism and strength is pretty freaky. So, around those other top-tier guys like Bobby Wagner, I think, just having that presence around him will make him a lot better, and just having the NFL coaching knowledge, he's going to be a big time for them. So I think he'll be starting to feel that he will be very productive for the Seahawks this year. For a rookie that wasn't kind of high profile, he'll be very productive for him. Could be one of the more, top-tier sack leaders for the rookies. It's definitely one to look out for. The Niners want Brandon Ayuk. This is crazy. You hear about Shanahan talk about Brandon Ayuk. This man loves this man right here. He loves him. I think Shanahan on his board, people could be just saying what you want to hear, but I think Brandon Ayuk was their number one receiver, or at least Kyle Shanahan's. I think he was. I think he fits because he has his specific fits. We know that. His specific scheme fits. It's a great system. It works. So he got his guy here. Big playability, great after the catch, lengthy guy, even though he's doesn't have the crazy height, obviously, but crazy length. Just torches man coverage as well. So this will be a big play guy. For them, they've kind of built up a pretty good receiver room actually. Through later rounds, mid rounds, pretty good guys. You expect some guys to step up if they're healthy. Guys like Pettis, Hurd, and they like those guys, but they don't have that number one, and they just had to go out and get the number one. They had to kind of do something different. Let's go out and get the number one in the first round guy I have to have. So there's a reason. There's definitely a reason for that. So he's going to be big time for them, for sure. Tampa Bay got to go with Antoine Winfield Jr., the playmaker. That's a young playmaking secondary already, mainly the corners. I like that corner group a lot for the future, a lot. Their safeties were, okay, you got guys that can play, but we can get better here. We need a playmaker back here to complement these corners. They get the playmaker of the safety group of the draft here. Antoine Winfield Jr. just always on the ball, always attacking the ball. So he'll be a playmaker back there. It'll be big time for them. Sneakily, it could be a guy like Tyler Johnson. Maybe Keyshawn Vaughn is their starting back. I could see it, but got to go Winfield here. Exactly the guy they needed, and it'll be an instant impact for them. Titans go with their second pick, go with Christian Fulton. I could see this guy playing in the slot right away. Even though we didn't see that, he was a darn good outside corner. They have Malcolm Butler, and they have Adoree Jackson, pretty good outside corners. Their depth is pretty weak. So, and those guys got hurt last year. So Fulton, I think, is the second string outside corner and the starting slot corner. There's a chance for that. There's also a chance they move a guy like Adoree Jackson to slot. Christian Fulton starts outside. Either way, this guy's playing a lot, and we saw how important that role of is a slot. Even if they do play him there, we saw Logan Ryan last year. I think this got to be a pretty big impact for him. More impactful than their first round pick, who could be good. But I just think more impactful. Then the Redskins got to go Chase Young, pretty obvious one. Look out for that Antonio Gibson kid, though. I've been hyping him up. That guy's a beast. They'll use him in multiple different ways. It could be more of the guy for the future for them, but he'll make an impact right now as well. So look out for that guy. But Chase Young, the favorite to lead the rookie class in sacks, which we know is very important, but he has more to his game than that. Pretty polished guy already, so looking forward to watching him. He'll be their Rookie of the Year most likely. That's going to do it for this one. I went bold with some of these, so if you want to comment yours, if you got any bold ones. Maybe it's not your actual pick. I love seeing the bold ones. What if this guy can do it and I can possibly could see it. So would love to see that. So click that like button, leave your comments, subscribe to both of our channels, follow that podcast, and follow that Twitter. Any link that you need will be in the description, the comments, pretty much any video. That's going to do it for this one. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.